What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about B3 base token today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, you guys, and let's get into it. So, looked into it a little bit more, right? I would hope everybody has. It is a Web3 gaming layer, right, on the base network, okay? Made by people who worked with Coinbase or still work with Coinbase. Maybe they don't now for liability reasons, but it's all the same party, right? If we're looking at the price here, you do have some bit of a double top going on. It appears that we likely will go lower, and not just lower than this low, but likely something that will come all the way back down. It's very common for a coin that just gets listed on Coinbase, and I don't care who you are, man, whether you've got affiliations with Coinbase or not. It's very common whenever a coin first lists on Coinbase, even if it pumps first, to drop back 60% or more. 60% or more would take you down about half of where your price is now, right? You're at 1.4 cents. We're talking about a price that's all the way down at 0.0076 dollars, which is 0.76 cents from a high to or a low to a high here, a measurement that puts you right at the base of your golden zone. Now, being that this is a Coinbase affiliated token, maybe you don't have to drop a full 60%. Most coins do drop 60% or more after getting listed on Coinbase, but maybe this one doesn't have to. Maybe it drops less. Maybe it drops more. I don't know. From a price perspective, the only area after you break below this low to find support at besides the high would be all the way down here at about 0.0062. That's kind of right there with your 786 and your 886 is right there in between that. So that makes sense to me, and that could be, from an overall high to low, a 65% drop or more from the current price. What would that be? A 51% drop or more. I'm not anticipating that you do that. Normally, for any other coin, I would, but truthfully, what I'm thinking you do, B3 token, is I think that you probably do find support between something around 0.0085 to 0.0077. Sure, something around there, maybe just a little bit lower than that, but something down there. So quite the ways to go down. I think if you were to have broken out here, if you were to have gone higher, first off, I think you would have done it. Secondly, the amount of volume that came in was not enough to save the day. In fact, the most volume that you saw was at the peak where you rejected and you came down. That's where you saw most of the volume there. So I very much do believe that if this volume was purchasing volume that was taking you to the upside, you would have gone higher, not rejected, and seen the aftermath as a result. This is very indicative to me that you likely go lower. This could be, my friends, it could be a harmonic pattern, which I don't know if you're familiar with what harmonics are, but they're Fibonacci-based retracement patterns, okay? Harmonics are sequences of retracements that can be good or bad, and I believe this one could be the bullish bat pattern from a high to a low. I'm not making this up. If you're new to crypto, if you're new to technical analysis, it might sound like I'm making things up like a comic book, but no, man, it's the bullish bat. It's a thing from a high to a low, pulling back to 88%, specifically the 886. Which you did. You basically pulled right back there. And this is a low cap coin, so it can be a little bit volatile or a little bit outside that. But that's basically what you would expect for a bullish bat. If this is a bullish bat, the next target you would expect to see is anything from a 618 to an 886 target down here, which are targets that we've already gone over. From a low to a high, a 1618 to a 2618, I think is what's acceptable, right? And the 1618 would be right in the middle of your golden retracement there. The 2618, it's a little bit lower, but I think that's fine. I think you could go all the way down there, although I don't think you do. Probably likely something between about 0.0059 to 0.008 cents, something, or $0.008. I'm sorry, something in that area is likely where you're going to go. I'm very confident in that. If you find support in those zones, you're going to have a very strong looking bat pattern. Bat patterns look like this, right? You come up, you get the bat ears, the whatever, or maybe that's the wings. I don't know. It looks like a big M, kind of like this. There can be deep bats. Deep bats are where you see a lower low. Alt bats are a little bit different, I think, with the highs, but this is just a generic bat pattern. Normally it looks like something like this. It's like a failed M. When I say failed M, I mean normally like an M, if it succeeds, it goes lower than where it started. A failed M does not go lower than where it started, okay? But generally, failed M's, bat patterns, bullish bat patterns, they're very bullish, not just to signal that you found a low in an expected area, but to also gauge where you could go from there. We don't know how low you're going to go. We don't know where the price is, so it's not fair to gauge. But when you take a high and you measure down to the low, let's just say you interact only with this closing high on a 1 hour basis, only with that. The 1272 is at 2.42 cents. You're at 1.4 cents now. If I move this down, that 2.42 cents, it only goes up, right? You can see it only goes up. So I very strongly believe that we would at least go to 0.008 cents. I'm very, very keen on that. So something around here, if not lower. If it's lower, these targets only go higher. Once you break out, once you find your low and you start to break out, I would expect that you do, with this kind of formation, go all the way up to your 1618. So that's at about 3.3 cents. From here, from a 1.4 cent target, that's only a 104. I say only 104. I'm too used to crypto, man. Only 140% move. Because I say only because we're expecting a lot of altcoins to do bigger moves than that in the coming days and weeks, right? If you come all the way down to this area, that move could turn into something of about like a 4x, something that's at a 300% move. And I really would expect that at a minimum you would go to 3.3 cents. Now you could go higher. You could go to 4.24 cents. You might go as high as 6 cents, potentially even all the way up to 8 cents, and that could be a 10x move from your low to that high. And I could see that happening, man. A 10x move is too crazy. No, man, it's a low market cap coin. It can definitely see that amount of growth in a very short amount of time, wherever it's going to be, whether it's at 3.3 cents, 6 cents, 8 cents. Beyond that, yes, beyond that, I expect your high to come in at the end of March. I expect it to come in at the end of March, if not the beginning or the middle of March, middle to end of March, okay? So if that's the case, if I'm expecting this move to end in the middle of March, you guys, if by the end of February you're already at 8 cents, then targets are just going to go higher. I don't know how to gauge this thing, right? We're on the 1 hour time frame. It's so new. I don't know how to gauge this thing with timing. So I'm just trying to be conservative with the price estimates and the time frames, right? I don't want to call for 8 cents this week or next week, though it's completely possible. That might be a target that's reserved for, this time next month. Maybe it doesn't happen at all next month. I really don't know. And I think the best way to gauge this would be to just wait and see how we react off of this low. I personally will be buying some B3 token. I'm going to be buying as soon as we get to 0.0085, and I'll start DCAing down. I'll probably finish my buying at 0.0077. I'll probably do it around there just for fun. And then if it goes lower, that's cool. I won't be buying anymore. I'll be sitting on my hands waiting for the inevitable bounce. If it goes lower than that, cool. I'll do nothing. I'll be sitting on my hands. Maybe if I'm taking profits in other projects, I can roll them into here, or I'll just sit on my hands and wait for the inevitable bounce, which will take us to new highs. At any rate, I'm planning on snagging some at prices below a cent. We're at 1.4 cents now. I'm very confident that we go lower. I've got nothing else to tell you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. If you want to invest in a token that is new, that just came out on Monday, the 10th of February. It came out at the last hour of that day, by the way, so really it's like the 11th. It's the 13th now, and it's the beginning of the 13th. It hasn't even been out for like 3 days. If you want to buy a coin like this, do your research. Don't watch this YouTube video and consider that research. Don't watch someone telling you it could do this and then it could do this and think that you have any kind of inkling as to what you should invest in. Please read about it. Do some research. Try to understand it. Try to understand what you can understand. If you can't read it, if that's too much of a pain in the ass, look up some other YouTube videos that do fundamental analysis. I'm a technical guy. I'm a chart monkey. I don't do the fundamental stuff. I don't like a script. It's too much work for me, right? This is a lot more simple. There's other people out there for that. Understand it. Understand it. If you could tell someone on the streets what it is, what it does, what the tokenomics are, if you could say that, and you want to buy it, I think you're in good shape. If you can't answer any of those questions, probably not worth buying, okay? Just my thoughts. Anyone who tells you the tokenomics are screwed, I think they're not right, man. They're not right in the head. Because tokenomics, don't get me wrong. First off, let's look at the tokenomics. I was going to try to end the video here, but just on the note of trying to understand this thing, talking about the tokenomics. You look, and you can see the max supply is 100 billion. Your current circulating supply right now, why doesn't it tell me? Where's the volume cap, FDV, total supply? Circulating supply, there we go. It's self-reported circulating supply, 19 billion. So the max supply is 100 billion. The circulating supply is a lot less than that. It's less than 20% of that, right? someone said this coin had bad tokenomics just based on that alone. And I'm like, okay, I understand that, right? You don't want a coin that's going to unload on you in the markets. You don't want it to flood the circulating supply with these coins, right? I get it. I get it. The fully diluted valuation is at 1.4 billion. The current market cap's at 266. I like this thing at 266. I wouldn't like it at 1.4. I get it that that's not enticing. But guess what? All the tokens that are not in circulating supply, 90% of them, they're locked up until a year from now. You know what else is a year from now? The bear market, aka the end of the bull market. So what's awesome about this thing, anyone who thinks the tokenomics are terrible, you don't know what you're talking about. No offense, but you know, and maybe that's just subjective. But I genuinely think that what's amazing about this thing is that the tokens are locked for a year. You're not going to get any serious dilution for a year, and then over a 3-year period, that there's some more unlocks that happen month to month. It's not all at once. It's a very slow release, and it starts in the bear market. Okay, it starts in the bear market. What's great about that is you've got nothing in your way of seeing phenomenal growth right now this cycle, right? That you're not going to get this flood of supply this cycle at least, and then after you have your phenomenal blow off top, you're going to have all those tokens unlock, and you're just going to crap. So you're going to get an even better buying price. It might not even see new all-time highs the following cycle, but the following cycle from a low to a high, it could have dropped so much that the growth that it sees, even if it doesn't see new all-time highs, might be bigger than what you see this whole cycle. And I'm drawing this around 15 cents. I think this thing goes well above 15 cents by the end of the cycle. It probably goes above $1 by the end of the cycle. It's at 1.4 cents now. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Do your own research before you make those decisions, but that's just what I think. All I'm trying to say is I don't know about the tokenomics, man, but the pumponomics on this thing, they're off the charts. I think that it's phenomenal, and I would expect this thing going forward next cycle to even have some relevance. Will it see new all-time highs next cycle with its tokenomics? I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't, unless it's like the best thing since sliced bread, I wouldn't think so. But I think that it stands a chance to not only do super well in the bull market, but to do super bad in the bear market, and that big drawback in the bear market can lead you to some pretty big drawbacks or pump ups in the coming bull market, even without seeing a new all-time high. I hope that makes sense. I got nothing else for you. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Bye.